this video, we'll talk about getFieldValue function and getFieldDisplayValue function. Both functions we import from UI Record API module. First is getFieldValue, and we use this to get a field's value from a record. The syntax is very simple. You need to import the getFieldValue from a record API module, and then you have to call this function, and in this function you have to pass the record data and to pass the field for which you want the value. The second function is getFieldDisplayValue. We use this to get a field value in formatted and localized format from a record. So like I showed in the previous demo, we want the annual revenue in the dollar with a comma separated notation. So in that case, getFieldValue will give us the formatted value, that is the display value. The syntax is same. You need to import the getFieldDisplayValue from UI Record API, and then you need to pass the record data to this function getFieldDisplayValue, and you need to pass the field name for which you want the display value. So let's go to our VS Code and we follow the same component that we created in the previous video for getRecord demo. And here we were using the code for fetching the value and fetching the display value. So to make it simplify, I'll comment this layout one and I'll enable my fields notation. I'll remove this one. And now whenever we are fetching the fields, name field, owner field and annual revenue, we are checking each and every time data fields dot name and display value is there. If yes, show the display value, otherwise take the value. To avoid this complexity, we have another adapter, that is getFieldValue. So this will always fetch the value from the record for that particular field that we pass. So let's call this method. We'll say I'll call getFieldValue. Then we need to pass the record data, that is data. I'll enter this out and I'll remove this out. And we need to pass the data that we want. This is the record data, whole data, and from this data which field you want to fetch. So we need to pass the field reference, that is a name field. Similarly, we're gonna remove this and move this. We pass the same function 3 times and we'll just change the field reference. So second one will say, third one is the owner name field, and the second one is the annual revenue field. So right now we are just calling the function, that is getFieldValue, and passing the record that is coming from this getRecord. We're getting the data and passing this field value we want from this data. Similarly, we are saying we want annual revenue field value from the data, and that value will assign to annual revenue property. So now you see how short the code is, and that's where the getFieldValue works. So let's deploy this and see whether it's giving us the value or not. So now it's deployed. Let's go back and our same record page of count we were placing earlier our component here. Let's refresh the page and see what it gives. Now you see it returning all the values. Name is correct, owner is correct, revenue is correct, but the revenue is not coming in the formatted way. So if you know, like few fields are there that should be formatted, like phone number or a amount like annual revenue, we want in a formatted way. For that we have another function, that is getFieldDisplayValue. So let's import that function from the same module UI Record API, and here the syntax will remain same. You just change the function for annual revenue from getFieldValue to getFieldDisplayValue. So now it will return the display value for us. So let's deploy and see whether we are getting the displayed value or not. Now it's deployed. Let's go and refresh the page. And now you can see it's giving the formatted value. I'll zoom it. And that's how we use getFieldValues and getFieldDisplayValues function from UI record API. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.